Hey, I'm Heyzeus, and this video is on the 10 best cases in CSGO, chosen by the community. Over 2,000 of you guys submitted a response, and we're going to look through the top 10 results, and I'll post the full list in a pinned comment below. Now, this video is sponsored by SkinBait, the easy to use cash out site, guarded by fish with insert joke about its face here, and I'm also doing a giveaway with Zipple. Who likes dicks? I sure do. Link for that is below as well. Make sure you enter. Anyway, let's jump straight into things. So at number 10, with 3.8% of the vote, is The Clutch Case, released on February 15, 2018, and in with the clutch, you might say. Fuck, we're off to a bad start. So the Clutch Case. What is there to say about this thing? How did it make it to number 10? Well, I look at it this way. There's definitely some legitimately nice play skins in there, not draw-dropping, but definitely nice, and it's even got a dank meme. It's not exactly a show-stopping meme, but it's a dank meme nonetheless. And it's also got some unique knives, gloves actually. Not exactly world beaters, but you know, decent unique gloves nonetheless. And I think this is how the Clutch Case got to 10th spot. There's nothing bad here. It's a good jack-of-all-trades case, but there's nothing that really makes it stand out either. I mean, if this case was a CSGO player, it would be RPK, and on this tournament circuit, that's enough to scrape by at 10th place on the list. But without a ZywOo in your back pocket, you aren't getting any further, and the Clutch Case definitely does not have a ZywOo. Anyway, at number 9, with the Operation Breakout case, released on the 1st of July 2014 and scraping ahead of the Clutch Case by the tiniest of margins. It managed to get 3.9% of the vote, and this case isn't really the story of a breakout so much as a comeback. During a distant epoch of time, 2016 to be precise, the Breakout case was a dirt cheap, oversupplied and unloved case that no one ever really saw going anywhere. But 4 years later, it has managed a spectacular turnaround, and this is primarily because of one thing: its knives. Over the last couple of years, the prices of butterfly knives have gone ballistic, and breakout cases have been sent surging back to relevance, so much so that they've actually worked out as an investment for a lot of people that stocked up on them 4 years ago. Now, other than that, it isn't a very interesting case. There's some okay skins, but nothing really special. But when those butterfly knives are worth 3 times as much as a normal set of knives, well, who really cares? Definitely not CSGO players, that's for sure. And that is why this case is at number 9. So, on to number 8, and coming in with 5.4% of the vote is the Operation Bravo case, released on September 19, 2013, making it the 3rd ever CSGO case to be released. Now, the Bravo case is remarkable in a couple of different ways. Firstly, it's literally the most expensive case in the game, excluding a couple of souvenir packages. One of these will set you back $24 US, which is a hell of a lot for a case, and there's a few reasons for that. It's partly due to the case's age, it's partly due to the fact it was never dropping for long, and it's partly due to the fact the player base was smaller back then. But most importantly, it's because of this thing: the apex of AK skins, the Fire Serpent, which currently retails for an arm and a leg, or if you want in a stat track, an arm and a leg and a testicle, used by pros everywhere and dominating the airwaves on YouTube. Now, I have heard it's got a few detractors. I wouldn't know anything about that personally, but I have heard about it. But even with that, there is no doubting this skin's fame, and combined with the incredible price of the case and a few other well-known skins, it's no surprise seeing the Bravo case racking up 8th place. Anyway, at number 7, we have the CS20 case, released on the 10th of October 2019 and scoring 5.8% of the total vote. Now, just like the Fire Serpent, this case has its detractors. It's very sad, I know, and I 100% totally wouldn't know anything about it personally, but some people just feel the need to talk shit about it. But not to worry, because it's managed to rack up a position on this poll that's almost as golden as the exterior of the case. Now, this thing is a result of a publicly announced skin design competition designed to pay tribute to 20 years of Counter-Strike, and it's interesting to think what motivated the people voting for the case, because there isn't actually a single clear factor. Is it the sexy AWP Wildfire at the top of the case? Is it the legendary classic knife? Or is it the overall significance of a case paying tribute to 2 decades of Counter-Strike? Personally, I think it may be a combination of them, but either way, it's clear the community appreciates having a case in honor of Counter-Strike, and that's why this thing is at number 7. So at number 6, we have the Spectrum case, released on the 15th of March 2017 and scoring 5.9% of the total vote. And this case, as we're going to see, is very, very unlucky not to be further up, because this thing is a fucking ball buster. Now, in some respects, it's a lot like the Clutch case, but where the Clutch case was a jack of all trades, the Spectrum case is a chat of all trades. You know, sick-ass knives released for the first time ever. Check. Badass play skins at every level of the case. Check. Neat patterns, including a rare pattern hype. Check. Tons of great profitable trade-ups. Check. This was a landmark case and people loved it at the time. So how is it at number 6 rather than number 1? Well, the reason for that is simple. What's a legendary skin from the Spectrum case? And the answer is, despite all the nice skins in the case, there isn't one. In fact, it's not even the only case you can get all these knives from either. And as we're going to see, the key to being in the top 5, for the most part, is having something truly legendary in your collection. And we're going to see that as we move on to 5th position, which, as it happens, is the Spectrum case's little brother, the Spectrum 2 case. Now, this thing was released on the 14th of September 2017 and racked up a respectable 6.5% of the vote, and naturally it includes the same set of badass knives as the Spectrum case, but otherwise it's a bit of an oddball case. There are some weird skins in here, not bad skins, but weird skins, and generally you might say it's lacking in a bit of colour in a few areas. These aren't the most striking skins, even if they aren't terrible either. So how did it manage to beat its older brother? Simple. It's this thing. The AK-47, the Empress. This sexy lady was a smash hit with the community, and despite the fact that there's now about 40,000 of them in circulation, a factory new skin will still set you back well over $100, not an insignificant price when the weapon is that common. And in fact, it's so popular that even now, over 2 years later, the Spectrum 2 case remains an in-game drop. Quite an achievement for a single skin, and lifting its case to 5th position. Anyway, in 4th place, we've got a very recent arrival. You might remember Valve baiting the community with a little Twitter poll, at which point it became apparent that we were in for one hell of a night, and Valve delivered on that, even if some of it was a bit hard to see. And amongst the many cool things Operation Shattered Web brought was the Operation Shattered Web case, which scored itself 4th position on our poll with 7.1% of the vote. Now, I think there's a few factors behind this case doing well. It's definitely got some unique and interesting knives, and it's also got a lot of interesting skins. Quite a lot, actually. It is a really solid case. It even has a vagina, which I'm sure is popular with a male-dominated game like Counter-Strike. But I think part of the story is also just that this case is new. It's a good new case, and I think it gets a lot of brownie points for that. I know it sounds a bit like I'm demeaning it by saying that, but I think that probably has helped quite a bit here. But it's still definitely a really excellent case with interesting stuff all around, which is very fitting for 4th place. Anyway, for number 3, we have a case that marks a landmark moment in Counter-Strike. Before it, CSGO was a game that seemed to be in decline, but then, in December 2018, the Danger Zone update hit. All aboard the Battle Royale hype train, and CSGO is now free to play. Now, aside from reinvigorating the player base, it also brought this, the Danger Zone case, which clocked up 3rd position with 9% of the vote. And I have my suspicions about what's brought it here, because in some respects, it's not the most amazing case. I mean, it's got the Horizon knives, which are kind of dull, and it's got a bunch of other skins that aren't really that amazing either. But it does have this, the AK Asimov. And if you know anything about CSGO skins, you'll know that the Asimov is one of the most popular designs ever released in the game. And I'm very suspicious that this weapon alone is the main reason this case has done so well. I mean, this thing doesn't hurt either, but I think it's largely the AK Asimov, which has won the hearts of a lot of players and propelled its case to 3rd position. And with that, we are up to 2nd place, the silver medal case, and taking 2nd spot by the skin of its teeth with just 9.1% of the vote is the Prisma Case, released on the 13th of March 2019, and this thing is just a banger of a case. Not only is that the only case with the Prisma knives, which stick the wildly popular chroma finishes on the Horizon knives, it's also got two really standout skins. Specifically, the AWP Atheros, which is one of the most wildly popular AWP skins to ever be released, and the M4A4 Emperor, a kick-ass skin from the Turret collection that's also been extremely popular. And between those three, I don't think this case needs much explaining. It's got a bunch of solid stuff in it, and it's been a massive hit because of that. But even still, it can't quite match up to the number one spot. And as I imagine a lot of people guessed, at number one, we have the Phoenix case, released on the 20th of February 2014 and clocking in 10.2% of the vote. Now, there's a few nice things here, but let's be real, only two of them really matter, the AWP Asimov and the AK-47 Redline, which respectively are basically two of the most popular skins for CSGO's most popular guns, and the numbers back that up. Based on what I got from the owner of Float.db, there's about 100,000 AWP Asimovs out there and about 250,000 AK Redlines. People like these fucking skins. They like them a lot. The AK Redline in particular also has a lot of Katowice crafts, and in general, these two are just iconic. And unlike a lot of CSGO's other very iconic gun skins, these two are actually available from a case, so it's no surprise this case has racked up number one spot. An iconic rank for an iconic case. Anyway, that's the top 10 cases voted for by the community. Those were my explanations for why I thought they ranked where they did. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. I'm interested to hear people's thoughts. Anyway, a big thanks to SkinBay for sponsoring this video. SkinBay is a cash out site where you can sell your CSGO skins for real cash. Just log in through Steam to start selling. The sales fee is only 5% with skinbay.com in your username, and there is a whole bunch of different ways to cash out. If you're looking to buy, on the other hand, well, you can get some sick discounts on skins compared to the Steam market, and there is a bunch of convenient ways to deposit. It's quick, it's easy, it's safe, it's a great place to buy and sell skins. I recommend checking it out. Otherwise, trust the numbers, not your gut. I'm Heyzeus. Thanks for watching. See ya.